August 2020, Marcus was officially removed from the team, although unlike most of the other MrBeast members, Marcus didn't leave peacefully.
So I gotta destroy him, bro. So I'm gonna destroy you, bro. I'm gonna destroy you eternally. For a long ass time, you gonna feel this. You gonna feel this tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. You ain't gonna forget about it.
He is so mad, Jesus. He's so jilted.
Marcus would take to Instagram and post a 12-minute story in which he'd make some absolutely delusional claims, such as MrBeast started the pandemic.
He started this pandemic for a reason.
Marcus was a leader.
Wait, he's insane. He's just an insane person. What's up, guys? All right, so because of that video, I was inspired to watch Sunny V2 video about MrBeast. A video called Every MrBeast Employee Who Got Fired and Why. Now, this is a year-old video, so this predates all the MrBeast controversy, but I'm really curious to see some of this stuff and see, because I think Jake Weddle's mentioned in this video. I'm curious to see how this may compare and contrast with the current allegations.
There are 9 MrBeast crew members who have either been publicly fired or have disappeared without explanation, and we're going to talk about all of them, beginning with Matt Turner, who had one of the more controversial endings to his time working with MrBeast. Matt Turner was initially hired as an editor for MrBeast back in 2018, yet only 5 months after getting hired, Matt would upload a video to his personal channel titled Why I Quit Working for MrBeast, in which he'd explain that he was no longer on the team. Matt would then go on to praise MrBeast, talking about how much he enjoyed the job.
This was a dream job for so long. Going to work was a blast each and every day. MrBeast paid for my rent every month when I lived in North Carolina.
Paid for his rent?
I still consider friends. Never got in any fights. No one did anything wrong in this situation. If you're watching this, MrBeast, I love you, bro.
However, despite ending his message by stating that he loved MrBeast, approximately 1 year and 2 months later, Matt Turner would take to Twitter stating the following. I'm not going to make a video about my time editing for MrBeast, but I will say that it was the most mentally draining time of my life. I was yelled at, bullied, and called replaceable by MrBeast every day. Being in tears and having mental breakdowns day after day is difficult, and after a while it became too much. After every editing mistake I made, I was made to feel like an absolute idiot. So that's a summary of almost every day on the team. That's what it was like to work for MrBeast, and that is why I don't work there now. While Matt might have thought that his MrBeast call out would command a bunch of respect and sympathy, the opposite of this happened, and everyone instead began to stick up for MrBeast. I think people are jumping to conclusions with this MrBeast stuff. If this editor really was harassed like that, wouldn't he have spoken up sooner? He's one of the most famous YouTubers.
I mean, he might not have spoken up sooner. He might have wanted to wait or just, I don't know, make it seem amicable at the time because he thought he would get a lot of backlash, and then later on he decided to make the allegation. But it is interesting when there's such a stark contrast between what he said before, where it was the best time of my life. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. And then after the fact, he's like, actually, MrBeast is a complete piece of shit and I hate him, Matt Turner, MrBeast. Wait, is this the same guy? Is that the same guy? That is him, right? Holy shit, I didn't even realize that was the same dude. So the same guy who made the claims about everybody knowing about the lolly stuff, and also made the claim about, because there was a story he told about how essentially MrBeast had an employee on his team with a kid who people were joking about very inappropriately, saying they were going to bang his kid as a joke, quote unquote, and that employee sort of had a crash out moment. This is the same guy that tried to go after him years ago. Interesting. Twitter versus MrBeast editor.
MrBeast is one of the most generous YouTubers on the platform. But what if I told you that it was all a facade and
It's so interesting how much the conversation has shifted now. Nobody would ever open a video. MrBeast is a super charitable guy. Nobody would ever open a video like that now. Okay, let me get this straight. MrBeast paid for his luxurious apartment. He does at best a mediocre job at editing. He still complains about inconsistent salary. Yeah, this is a man-child.
The only person who knows the truth is his former editor, who goes by the name Soar Turner. He ended up posting
Was he a member of the Soar Gaming clan?
This on his Twitter, thinking about making a truthful video about what it was like working for MrBeast. Thoughts? Now, when you check out this guy's channel, he actually did make a video about working for MrBeast about a year ago, but apparently it wasn't truthful and he ended up holding some things back, which he ends up explaining in this Twitter thread where—
This is why old Boblex videos were so good. There was no commentary, they were so informative, you could just get the information you actually needed from them. This is what he needs to go back to doing. I maintain that Boblex could recover his career if he just made videos like this, where his opinion wasn't in it and he just accurately compiled all the information.
Where he says, I'm not going to make a video about my time editing for MrBeast, but I will say that it was the most mentally draining time of my life. I was yelled at, bullied, called mentally
Damn.
Replaceable by MrBeast every day. Being in tears and having mental breakdowns day after day is difficult, and after a while became too much. After every editing mistake I made,
So the public response to this, I'm super curious about.
set up for success after. I feel like an absolute idiot. Even if the content wasn't real, no credit was given, unless a video I edited got credited to someone else. Editors were told, if we ever leave the team, we shouldn't be set up for success after, so no credit will be given. Ideas would be taken, people would be baited into the team, and would be screamed at, and then told, I just misinterpreted what I heard, by his impossible to please momager.
Momager. Does he mean his... Does Turner here mean the actual mother? Does he mean actual mother?
I assume he either misspelled
Like Sue?
manager or he's doing a play on words where his mom is his manager. I'm not really sure how that
I assume he's saying Sue.
is. Either way, he continues by saying, we would be forced to re-sign NDAs, and then told that these were our glory days. So that's a summary of almost every day on the team. That's what it was like to work for MrBeast, and that is why I don't work there now. Thanks for tuning in. Heart. Maria replies to this by saying, I can't even imagine one of them yelling at someone. Hope this isn't true. I've been watching them since he made worst intros ever. I hope he isn't one of those YouTubers who've changed after blowing up. Turner replies, yes, he indeed did yell at me and call me mentally
He called him mentally... Maybe I shouldn't be laughing at that. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit, I don't know. I guess it's good to feel bad for him. You probably shouldn't be calling your employees mentally when they mess up, but I don't know. It's kind of funny. It is. I can't deny it. You know, that word gets me going. I'll make a video with proof and receipts and all that. It'll be up probably next weekend. Sound good? Risky move. You might end up getting words thrown in your mouth, words twisted in the whole 9 yards, no matter how much proof and shit you have, but do what you think is right. Interesting. He responded to this guy, Fly, saying, yeah, man, when you made your video, the office was in panic mode because everything you said was true. They were basically like, how can we cover this up? Meetings rather than a how can we fix this. Then the momager wanted to get all your clients to blacklist you. Toxic. Interesting. So more allegations about Sue. Based on the track record we have this year, I'm very unconvinced about the legitimacy of this. If you have a potentially defamatory claim against someone, you need to actually provide more than just a personal recount with no evidence. Seems like an attempt for clout. It's cool to not believe me. I'm sharing a personal experience and want to get off my chest. Not trying to end careers. I have no say in how big this got. I didn't have this intention. Looks are deceiving though, and MrBeast was terrible to me. Why would I make this up? The same could be said about many of the exposés released this year through Twitter. If he signed NDAs, then it's clear MrBeast has legal resources to exploit. Knowingly coming out with support from, say, SOAR as a legal entity is very questionable. He says, okay. Augie, all the way back then, Augie says, he asked for evidence and you ignored his question by instead asking a dumb question yourself of why would I lie about this? You can trust me. I don't trust you for a minute. If your video doesn't have evidence, we will tear it apart easily. I didn't realize Augie and John Swan, oh my God, these guys were all in the cut. Holy shit. Seems a bit far-fetched, buddy. It's been proven on various occasions that MrBeast has a heart of gold. It's been proven he has a heart of gold. And to be honest, if you're an editor, you're pretty shit. The editing on his channel is nothing short of extremely mediocre. Mistakes are rampant in every video he does. Holy shit. They're going in on him. Keemstar says, Fly, just watch your video. There's no story here. I think you just ended your own career leaking all personal combos. Let's be real. Who the F would want to talk to you or trust you? I don't. I'm going to drop a text to Clout Gang. What? I'm going to drop a text to Clout Gang. Is that because they're associated with SOAR somehow? Oh, Wooly1, another guy that we all know. I watched Wooly's iDubbbz video recently. I love MrBeast, but yeah, that's a big area for improvement. There was this one video where an editor up and showed a media pending Premiere placeholder. Premiere's so shit, man. Interesting. If we could turn back time to the good old days.
because of the proof. I don't understand why people say this kind of stuff without proof. Then Turner responds to them by saying, here's texts I sent while working there. These texts start off with Turner saying, lol, didn't expect that one. I feel that though, man. Working for Beast is like being a videographer for North Korea. His friend then replies, lol lol lol.
Okay, so he's showing here corroborating texts that show that he was telling people at the same time that this kind of thing was happening. In the most objective way possible, this isn't evidence he does that. This is word of mouth. We need text, calls, emails, written proof from him or his momager to you or others on the team before we can say anything definitive. That's probably true. I agree with that. Interesting. But this guy now, in modern day, he came out and did an interview with H3. I didn't even realize it was the same dude because he has such a different look now. I didn't even recognize him. Interesting. Come on, Jimmy. It was Jimmy! And he gets to be a YouTuber. What a sick joke.
so it would have been easy to start accusing him. I think the bullying is just over-exaggerated. So basically, MrBeast's editor is a kid who hasn't experienced the real working world, so throws a tantrum and starts slamming MrBeast with unsupported allegations the moment it gets tough. Kids these days. Bruh, this was 1 year ago, why are you coming at him now? Keemstar would point out the most obvious flaw with Matt's Twitter thread.
I just find it very strange that he's coming out saying all this negative stuff about MrBeast when a year ago, when he...
If you didn't have the mind of a child, it's always been obvious MrBeast and his crew were full of shit. Well, like the fake positivity, stuff like that, I think it can be obvious that's like kind of silly. But I don't think it's obvious what he was full of shit about.
He actually left. He uploaded a video saying it was the greatest time of his life.
Whilst others came forward stating that they had a great time working with MrBeast.
I've known MrBeast for over 3 years now, and I was helping him with graphics for his channel. I don't even have one experience of him being mean or disgruntled to me in any way. He was always very kind and very nice.
Which was once again echoed by Keemstar.
I talked to one of his employees, and he seemed like he loved working for him, and MrBeast seemed like a really cool, genuine guy.
Things became even worse for Matt after MrBeast had a phone call with Keemstar.
And what MrBeast told me is basically like when they fired him or whatever, they gave him $10,000 and they got him a job at Sword.
And shortly thereafter, Matt deleted the tweets and was even brave enough to claim that his Twitter had been hacked. Despite basically being laughed, deleted the tweets and was even brave enough to claim that.
In fairness, he was claiming it was hacked, but not that the hacking was was like what caused him to say that shit. Like he's not saying the hack is the reason why he said what he said on Twitter. He's saying he was hacked after the fact anyway. Tom, please come home. The kids miss you. Dude, they're poor. Why would I want to hang out with my kids when they're poor? Let me know when they're on their Sigma grind set.
That his Twitter had been hacked. Despite basically being laughed off the internet, Matt Turner continues to upload van life videos, one of which including a pretty weak apology to MrBeast.
If anyone was offended by me saying that wasn't the best experience, well then I do apologize.
With the whole ordeal being summarized by YouTuber Prison Mate Luke.
What did you gain from it, really? A little bit of clout from the beginning? You destroyed any chance of you having an...
Dude, every character from the old days is here. I mean, Keemstar is here, obviously he's in every drama, but John Swan was there, BWC was there, Augie was there, Prison Mate Luke. You guys probably didn't even know who Prison Mate Luke was. He was one of the premier slop channels of 2019, 2020. Every single character is here.
An actual YouTube career, and all of those views went away immediately. And now you're just forever tainted with the fact that you're just the guy that lied about MrBeast.
However, Matt Turner wasn't the only person to try and expose MrBeast before having it backfire terribly. Back in 2000...
Is Prison Mate Luke even around? He just left, right? We haven't heard anything from Prison Mate Luke in a while. I'm pretty sure he's just gone. This guy got his shit wrecked during a few dramas involving Creepshow art, from what I remember. Prison Mate Luke. His channel's still around. Final update 2 years ago. Damn. Felt it. Absolutely BTFO'd. Thing is, this guy for a while was killing it on YouTube. You can see he got a bunch of videos 3-4 years ago that got a ton of views. Nick Avocado's abusive mukbangs. Mini Lad doesn't deserve a second chance. He was basically one of the premier like slop tubers just reading Reddit and just saying whatever Reddit said.
2018, FlyyDoesYT uploaded a video titled My Experience Editing for MrBeast, Worst Week of My Life, in which he'd foolishly accused MrBeast of faking the content before going on to make the bizarre point that MrBeast didn't even appear in the videos.
When you make a YouTube video for your channel, you should, we'll go film your video without you. That's cool, yeah.
The claims were so outrageous that MrBeast himself took to Twitter before stating, "If you think I'm faking my videos, then ask the streamer to whom I gave hundreds of thousands of dollars when they get them. Go and ask somebody who got part of the $500,000 that I gave away this year when they got it. You will not find a person who said I did not give them any money." These tweets were followed by MrBeast appearing on Drama Alert, where he'd explain the situation from his perspective.
I paid for his plane ticket, his Uber, his hotel for a week, his Uber, and his plane ticket, which he made a 25-minute quote-unquote exposing video on me, but doesn't mention that I spent thousands of dollars getting him here, paid him $750 for like 5 days worth of work, which is really good pay. He has all these issues, quote unquote, but he doesn't say any of them to me while he's here. He doesn't talk to me while he's here. He just bundles it all up so he can make this 25-minute video and blow everything out of proportion when he gets home.
Before going on to absolutely destroy the claims that his videos were fake.
My videos aren't fake. Like, I counted to 100,000. I watched Dance to Your Dead for, whatever. I give streamers $30,000. It's just slander from his...
Well, that stuff is real. But in fairness, the claim that he was making was not like... he doesn't actually give money away. The claim he was making, truly it seems, was that MrBeast wasn't even in the videos. It was more of a production content team, which does make the videos kind of fake, but not fake in the way he was saying. 750 is kind of foul? What do you mean foul? You mean like a lot? What is the calculation on that? Let's see. So 5 days of work. In fairness, it's for a guy who you don't officially work for. You're doing contract work. You can say no, but on top of that, he covered all the expenses. So he basically got $750 to, he was flown somewhere. He was paid. He had his Ubers paid for, all of that shit. It's kind of done hourly. So if it's 12 hours a day times 5, that's 60 hours. So 750 divided by 60. Oh, 12 hours a day is probably insane though. More like 8. 8 times 5. 40 hours of work. Okay, so 750 divided by 40 is $18.75 an hour. I mean, it's not amazing pay. It's above minimum wage, but it's not amazing pay. But, if you're having all your expenses paid for, you're not an official employee, you're just a contractor, I think it's totally fine. I mean, this is like a 20-year-old dude, right? He's not like a super wealthy guy. I think 750 is not that bad. I think it's fine. If it was 750, but like he had to pay for flights and shit, like that would be a good criticism because the 750 wouldn't even cover the flights and the stay and the Uber, stuff like that. But like being paid 750, it's fine. It's mid. I don't think it's like totally underpaying. How much an hour? $18.75 an hour. That's not bad for like sitting and editing, in the start of your career.
Providing an explanation for why he wasn't able to fully appear in one of the videos.
I have Crohn's disease. Most of you don't know what it is. It was really acting up. So I said, hey, you guys go film the rest of the video. I want to go nap. I got to take it easy. Now he's making an exposed video like, oh, MrBeast doesn't film his own videos. Like, what are you going on about, man? You're trying to pin the fact that I have an illness on me. And like, I'm not public about this type of stuff.
Which once again prompted a former employee to come out stating, as someone who is friends with both MrBeast and Fly, it is my unbiased opinion that Fly is in the wrong. Unlike Matt Turner, Fly has since had a relatively successful career, having built a channel with over
I mean, being friends with both of them doesn't remove your bias. Like, you could still want to protect MrBeast more if you work for him or something. Like, I don't think that totally removes your bias. If that, you're only really unbiased if you don't know any of these people and you don't know who MrBeast is, then you're completely unbiased.
300,000 subscribers, yet he hasn't been nearly as successful as Jake the Viking, who's been able to show that a peaceful ending with MrBeast is always the most beneficial path.
This is so funny looking back. Because all these people, I mean, Fly, I haven't heard anything from him recently, but Matt Turner, I mean, he obviously has a very different take on how his time at MrBeast went. Now he has an even more negative opinion. The Jimmy New guy, in this video, it's like he had an amicable split. Well, that's not really the case now, is it?
Jake appeared on the MrBeast channel for the first time back in June 2018, as Jimmy required a strong
Delaware should have been in this video.
Character to include within the videos.
Can you dip this in the water tank for me? It's really heavy, but you're like a big boy.
At this point in time, the content was often quite physical, and therefore having Jake as a member of the team worked out perfectly. However, by early 2020, the content became less focused on physical challenges, and as a result, Jake began to appear in fewer and fewer videos. He'd be seen one last time in $60,000 Extreme Hide and Seek Challenge, which was followed by a comment to Jake's TikTok 2 months later asking, "Are you still working with MrBeast?" To which he'd respond, "Lol, nah, they fired me." 9 days later, Jake would clarify this comment by uploading a now incredibly viral video titled "Why I Left MrBeast," in which he'd explain why he had been let go.
And it came down to my piece no longer fit the puzzle. If that's the best way to put it.
Before discussing how he wanted to leave anyway, so he could pursue content creation under his own name.
It was a mutual leaving. I'd already told him multiple times, what I wanted to do was kind of be my own boss, do my own thing. Me and Jimmy did not have any type of falling out, so everything's cool. MrBeast still
Jimmy knew.
Love you, bro.
Basically, he got tired of being an employee. He wanted to start his own brand, be his own boss, do his own thing, which is respectable. He didn't want to be just that guy on every MrBeast video. Good luck to you, Viking. Jake's peaceful ending in combination with his unique
peaceful ending, dude. This aged like milk. I mean, obviously at the time, Sonny couldn't have known that his conclusions wouldn't hold up, but it's so funny that like Jake had seemingly such an amicable split, and then as soon as the Chris stuff started happening, he himself started just completely trash talking MrBeast, which in fairness is a lot of criticisms to be made of MrBeast, and I don't think it, totally invalidates all of his criticisms. To me, what truly invalidates a lot of what he had to say is the fact that, he was saying Jimmy knew for so long, and then it turns out that he knew about the other sex offender. It's like, oh, well, that's kind of weird.
Recognizable image has helped him to maintain success even after leaving the team, having gained over 1 million subscribers on YouTube and over 2.5 million followers on TikTok. However, Jake the Viking wasn't the only person who eventually ran out of utility on the MrBeast team. For example, whatever happened to
Ty,
who was picked up on the side of the road for his first appearance in the world's largest bowl of cereal video.
Oh wait, this isn't Ty Orr, this is a different black guy named Ty.
You gonna come sit in a pool of cereal for 10K?
And with comments such as, Ty is such a cool guy, he needs to be in more challenges, he was able to return to the channel.
And then this is Ty from the cereal videos. You guys really liked him, so we brought him back.
Appearing in a total of 7 different videos before he'd also disappear. Considering Ty was picked up at random on the side of the street, he was never an official member of the MrBeast crew, yet according to the wiki, Ty still works for MrBeast, but works mostly behind.
I wonder if they actually picked him up on the side of the street, though. I wonder if that was, like, planned. Because seemingly a lot of the stuff from these videos is faked. I wonder if they, like, knew him, they put him at a specific spot, they drove up to him, and then they were like, hey, you want to go be in my videos? Because I can imagine it would be kind of weird to be rolled up on by MrBeast in a car and he'd be like, hey, want to be in my video, kid? It's like, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know what's going on here.
Behind the scenes. Ty has since become a father and still maintains an Instagram following of over 28,000 and a TikTok following of over 80,000, on which he uploads music, comedy, and dancing videos. Tyler Conklin.
Has he said anything? Cool Brogy. Cool Brogy, MrBeast. That's not him. The dancing dad on the gram. Has he said anything about MrBeast? It looks like he's doing music now, so it doesn't... Whoa, what is that? Jesus. I don't think he said anything about MrBeast since then, as far as I can tell. Ty from MrBeast. Ty from MrBeast TikTok. His name's kind of like Big Bungie if you think about it. Here's his account. Has he said refresh? Doesn't seem to me like he said anything about MrBeast since then, so maybe he's got no problem with him. He just is in the videos for a little bit. He's staying out of the drama.
We ain't gonna play around with him. We just gonna hop right on into the topic of discussion here. So, in the past few weeks...
Are you mad? I'm always mad.
I've been getting like a massive amount of followers due to all these multiple resurfacing MrBeast ex-members and what happened, like why they got fired or why they stopped being in the video. So I'm just like, I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell my side of the story, like what happened and what's going on in my life now. I pretty much watched them all, or I would just skip to my part where they speak about me, and most of them are pretty, you know, accurate.
Whatever happened to Ty? He was picked up on the side of the road for his first appearance in the world's largest bowl of cereal video.
You gonna come sit in a pool of cereal for 10K?
And with comments such as, Ty is such a cool guy, he needs to be in more challenges, he was able to return to the channel.
And then this is Ty from the...
So it seems like he doesn't really have anything negative to say about his time there, as far as I can tell. He has not come out. He has not turned to the shit-talking allegations.
Conklin was another MrBeast member who disappeared from the videos without any explanation, and his disappearance is probably the most mysterious of them all. Tyler became the second MrBeast crew member after featuring on the channel for the
I recognize this guy.
First time in February 2016, when MrBeast had only 18,000 subscribers. From here, Tyler was featured in videos such as We Are Better Than Dude Perfect, which was followed by Tyler helping out Jimmy's brother, yet Tyler's final obvious appearance on the MrBeast channel was in I Opened a Restaurant That Pays You to Eat at It, where Jimmy jokingly fired him.
Get out of here! He suggested we charge money for the
This is the real MrBeast.
food. What? Get out of here! Go! I don't ever want to hear you guys talk about charging again.
While this
Yeats Burger
was obviously just a meme for the video, it actually would become Tyler's final official appearance on the MrBeast channel. Honest question, after you suggested making people pay for the food in the restaurant video and Jimmy kicked you out, you were never in another video again. Did he fire you from being in more videos? Tyler did make a small cameo in Last to Leave the Circle Wins $500,000, as well as the Squid Game video where he apparently featured as one of the guards, and when you combine this information with his Instagram, on which he's often still seen with the crew, it's clear
MrBeast director, so he still works for him.
that Tyler hasn't been fired, but his
Tyler Conklin, MrBeast. He's still got MrBeast director in his bio. When is his last post from? 92 weeks ago. It's been a while. Interesting. Twins from Russia. How are you? What is the best way to reach out to you? Can't send you a DM on here on Instagram for some reason. Look at these comments. What are these comments? K-pop lover says, we hate MrBeast. MrBeast sucks. MrBeast is a fraud. Mr. Freak, not Beast. Unsubscribe him. If you want to meet Mr. Binnis, please, will you help me? I know that you can be no one without you. Believe me, I want to meet Mr. I want to see him from the front. I want to say something. Please, you help me. I want to see MrBeast from the front. What are you talking about?
Pause.
I've reached out so many times to the whole team. Once more couldn't hurt. I have a 1 in 173,000 chance to win one of these Teslas, and probably even lower chances of you reading this. But it would change my life forever. The amount of lives you have changed is tremendous. Thank you for being the people you are, MrBeast and crew. Well, people love MrBeast for giving it away. This person just says, text me. Why are all the comments so cancer? Jimmy bought an island. We spent 24 hours on it. Go watch. Oh, is this the $1 island? $1 island allegations? Interesting. Time has severe depression? True.
Rather working from behind the scenes. Garrett eventually met a similar fate. He was first introduced to the channel back in May 2018 after the team cut his car in half, and from that point onwards he was a semi-regular in the MrBeast videos. In mid-2020, Garrett abandoned the channel to help out MrBeast's brother. However, as Mr. Bro began to upload fewer and fewer videos, Garrett also began to disappear from the internet.
Mr. Bro? Is his name Mr. Bro?
Beast's brother. However, as Mr.
Oh, his name is... I forgot he had a brother named Mr. Bro, who just tried YouTube and then just gave up. Mr. Bro. Where is the Mr. Bro channel? Mr. Bro. Is this... Oh, is this him?
My brother, come here.
Oh, this is him. He renamed it to CJ these days. So he just tried to make MrBeast videos. He looks like an off... I mean, I know he's his brother. He looks like an uncanny MrBeast. It's kind of weird. Mr. Breast.
After watching countless seconds of YouTube videos, I've discovered the perfect pitch to break glass. As a side note, our Uber driver, Jacob, got banned from Uber because of our...
What the f is this? Shout out to Mr. Why is his name Mr. Bro? I want to change my channel name to Mr. Bro. That's funny. You're in the latest Seth video? Yeah, dude, I saw that. He put a really messed up picture of me. The one on my Wikitubia. Someone needs to go in and change the Wikitubia picture to something else, because Seth, I was watching his video, like not even, you know, thinking anything of it because I just watch his shit. And I was just here when he said gooner. He was like European gooners or something, and I was just here. I was like, can we use a different picture? There's better pictures of me out there, Seth, okay, asshole? Like, come on. Use a different picture, bro. The pictures of me on Wikitubia are up. Someone needs to change this. There's better pictures of me, okay? That was during a dark era. We're done with that era, I promise you. Like, this is the picture they use for me? Really? Bruh. Can we not use anything else? It's so... And, like, some of the other pictures are like this. I haven't looked like this since I was 18. I guess this is me like 2 years ago, probably. Like, come on. I like this one. This should be the main one. This should be the real picture that's being used, okay? This is a fire image. You posted it? Well, I know I posted it, you know. I'm not saying that I can't use it, but, you know. When I do after my cut, when I do a physique reveal, that's what they should be using, okay?
Mr. Bro began to upload fewer and fewer videos. Garrett also began to disappear from the internet. According to a reply on his Instagram, Garrett helps with social media stuff now, although he hasn't uploaded a TikTok or Instagram photo with the MrBeast crew in over 2 years, and claims to be studying at the University of Alabama, which is over 2 states away from the MrBeast headquarters in North Carolina. Perhaps Garrett is still working with the crew.
Well, I mean, it's very possible he just does social media stuff from online. You can, you know, do a social media job where you're handling Twitter accounts and Instagrams and stuff like that, despite not being there in person, you know?
From a distance. However, it does seem as though their relationship simply ran its course and eventually...
Man, what a cursed picture. Chandler quit MrBeast videos to read the Bible. MrBeast is in a ton of controversy. Chris had a whole arc. What a dark picture looking back, man. Wish we could turn back time, for real.
He fizzled out. But what about Jake Weddle? He was another one of these guys that once featured in almost every MrBeast episode before he'd slowly disappear from the channel. Well, only a month after being seen in the I filled my brother's house with slime and bought him a new one video, Jake Weddle would upload a piece of content to his personal channel titled Why I Left MrBeast, in which he'd explain that he'd resigned from the team so he could pursue stand-up comedy under his own name.
I found myself kind of, I guess, losing passion for what I was doing. I'm doing stand-up basically full-time now.
Weddle went on to explain that his relationship with MrBeast had ended peacefully.
Me and Jimmy actually left on very good terms. I met with Jimmy before I left. He understood where I was coming from. I understood where he was coming from.
Which is supported by the fact that Weddle came back about a year later for 2 cameo appearances.
Damn, he gained some weight for a little bit.
On the channel. However, there's a different MrBeast member who only managed to feature...
This is once again so funny looking back, because this is not Jake Weddle's story at all now. Like, this is, he wouldn't say anything close to this now. He's on a very different wave. Very, very, very different wave. I would like to see Sonny, like, remake this video with, like, current stuff in mind. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just remake it with, like, all the updated information. Make it 3 times longer.
in one video before getting fired.
He's a grifter? I don't think Jake's a grifter.
Sneako. Now, to avoid any unnecessary damage to MrBeast's image here, we need to specify that this was back in 2018, long before Sneako had the reputation that he has now. Back then, Sneako's content consisted of deeply meaningful, unbiased videos, which featured a unique editing style more advanced than almost anyone else on the platform. Anybody who was a fan of Sneako at the time can vouch for how incredible his videos were, and with this in mind, it's really no wonder that MrBeast gave him a shot on the team. Sneako made his first appearance in the I built a working car using only Legos video. However, as explained by another video uploaded to Sneako's personal channel titled "The Most Important Lesson I Learned Working for MrBeast," his employment didn't last for very long.
I started working for MrBeast 2 years ago. It didn't last long because I got caught up with my ego, and this was during a time when I wasn't uploading on YouTube at all.
Sneako made an exposed video about him. He made an exposed video of MrBeast, but his entire criticism was like, he's not a genuine real YouTuber. He makes silly videos for kids. So he had kind of interesting criticisms. But in modern day, I believe he also made a claim that I think he heard like Chris and Jimmy even joking about Bad Baby with the whole 14-year-old thing behind the scenes. Yeah, Sneako did work for MrBeast a long time ago. Well, because Sneako and MrBeast came from the same community. Something a lot of people don't realize is like, MrBeast kind of came from the commentary community. I mean, he wasn't really a commentary channel. He was more of like a gaming commentary channel where he would like have COD footage and he would just talk about whatever he was interested in or talk about various subjects. But that was like the earliest content he did. And at the time, that kind of stuff was like intrinsically intertwined with YouTube commentary. So back in the day, MrBeast was watching a bunch of Leafy and Keemstar. So, you know, it's interesting where people come from. And Sneako was kind of doing the same content at the time, which is why they kind of like got along at some level.
Maintained a level of respect toward MrBeast even after leaving the team. However, the same can't be said for Marcus Pearson, who became the most controversial firing in MrBeast history. When Marcus was first introduced to the channel back in 2019,
I don't know anything about this guy.
He quickly became a fan favorite. However, after being featured in the MrBeast Christmas special that very same year, Marcus stopped appearing in any of the videos. 5 months later in May 2020, a fan would ask on Marcus's TikTok, "When you coming back to MrBeast challenges?" To which he'd respond to ask him, implying that maybe Marcus had been left in the dark about his future involvement on the channel. Approximately 3 months later in August 2020, Marcus was officially removed from the team, although unlike most of the other MrBeast members, Marcus didn't leave peacefully.
So I gotta destroy him, bro. So I'm gonna destroy you, bro. I'm gonna destroy you eternally. For a long ass time, just you gonna feel this. You gonna feel this tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. You ain't gonna forget about it.
He is so mad, Jesus. He's so jilted.
Marcus would take to Instagram and post a 12-minute story in which he'd make some absolutely delusional claims, such as MrBeast started the pandemic.
He started this pandemic for a reason.
Marcus was a leader.
Wait, he's insane. He's just an insane person.
Whilst MrBeast was a follower.
I was born a leader, and he was born a follower. He was stealing sauce. I was borrowing sauce and paying homage, you feel?
So this guy's just schizophrenic. He's genuinely just a schizophrenic person. That's probably why they fired him.
Before going on to state that he thought MrBeast was a broken person for firing him.
The only conclusion that I can make is that he's broken somewhere else. That's the only conclusion that I can come up with.
While it seemed like Marcus's goal was to discredit MrBeast, the only person he seemed to discredit was himself, given Marcus's rant was so delusional and unfounded that it just made him look like an idiot. It's been stated all around the internet that Marcus was fired because of unacceptable behavior and a drug problem, although there's no evidence anywhere to support these claims. MrBeast stated in a podcast that their revenue dropped massively at the start of the pandemic, and the more likely reality was that Marcus was fired to save money on wages during a tough economic time. Marcus maintains an Instagram following of around 75,000, yet he's only made one post in the last 2 years, showing that his rant against MrBeast also marked the end of his online career.
Interesting. I think that some of these people, looking back, I mean, especially like Jake Weddle, right? He, at the time, didn't even have any criticisms of MrBeast. He made it seem like it was a totally amicable split. But now, looking back, he's kind of come out and said a lot more. I think that one thing that happens when somebody gets in controversy is a lot of people who have talked positively about them in the past will come out about their negative experiences. And I think the tendency for some of the audience is to be like, well, they're clearly lying. Look, look at what they said before. And it's like, well, I understand why you think that instinctively, but what you have to remember is like when you're going against someone like MrBeast, who's one of the most loved guys of all time. On YouTube, he's like a super popular powerhouse. He was like seen as the most charitable guy forever. I mean, you saw that BWC tweet we read earlier. Shout out BWC. You saw that tweet where he was like, John Swan was like, MrBeast has a heart of gold. Like, You know, clearly that was kind of a ridiculous presumption, but that was like the impression everyone had of MrBeast as a person. And so at the time, coming out against him would have just been like, you just would have been destroyed, whether you're right or not. That doesn't make sense. How did MrBeast lose money in the pandemic? They were bombing in the pandemic, more people were watching. Well, it makes sense because his videos are videos where you have to go outside and go to public places, and he couldn't do that anymore. Like his videos at the time, keep in mind, I don't think he even had the full MrBeast studio at that point. I don't think he had like the full production set. Most of his videos were him with his friends going out in public. If you can't do that, the content's kind of, you know, and like everyone's got to wear masks during every video. That kind of kills it a little bit. It makes it super difficult to film. So that's just one reason why. Another reason would be during the pandemic, a lot of people were inside. I would assume that they weren't going out to stores and buying things as much. They were being more frugal with their money because a lot of people got let go. Therefore, advertisers are advertising less on YouTube. Therefore, people who make videos make less money. The views are the money. Well, yeah, but the way you make money is from making a video that people watch. Dumbass. Anyhow, when's your schizo arc? Right now.